and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next episode of Aurora 4X. We are here after the terrible defeat in the system of Herschel 5173. The first Cruiser Destroyer Squadron is currently in full retreat, heading back to the jump point. I've also begun mobilizing our tankers to bring home the necessary fuel supplies, which we are currently lacking. We will bring that Cruiser Destroyer Squadron back with that fuel, and then we will return to civilized space. It has come to my belief that we are not capable of beating those alien forces at this current time. In fact, we are severely technologically outmatched, and with such an outmatched situation, I have ordered for the development of a few key things. Number one, we are going to be developing defense platforms. These defense platforms are going to contain 5 plasma carronades, 11 layers of armor, and 3,000 tons with small thrusters. They will be positioned in pairs of 4 or around jump points with a support station nearby. This support station will allow them to be maintained indefinitely and will have maintenance modules. The defense platforms themselves will hopefully be able to deal with any threat that does come forward. We are also going to continue to develop towards newer classes of destroyers and new classes of ships, with more emphasis now being put onto point defense capability. The current point defense capability that we have is seemingly not enough for the enemy forces that we have encountered, and as such we're going to be using as much or any way possible to increase that. So, in that nature, we are taking a purely defensive posture. I am going to colonize from this, the Array Aranius Expanse and Core Sector space, but anything in Luton's Star Cluster or Lepora Star Cluster, we are going to avoid for now. And we will place strategic defenses along these axes, again in Delta Carinae and Altair, and they will provide us with early warning and defensive against enemy incursions because of their much higher technological level. If we cannot beat them in open field, we can beat them hopefully in defensive action, where we can surprise them and gain the upper hand, and that is going to be our primary plan. In terms of industrial capability, industrial capacity, we are continuing to build up. We are building more fuel harvesters, which is growing our fuel supplies, and we are also building terraforming stations, with Mars now reaching 100 million people. We will continue to grow Mars as much as we can, and with Mars growing, we will hopefully then be able to continue a layer of growth, because I believe that with our current situation, we have massive potential for growth. We have this world over here, which has a ton of resources on it, these worlds, and we also have 75 Apucci with its own world. So we have 3 habitable worlds and a bunch of others that can be terraformed down here. So over time, I believe our growth will succeed. It's just going to take time to reach that point. But let's start, shall we? The first Cruiser Destroyer Squadron has arrived back in Luton's Star and will be holding that position as best they can. If the enemy follows through, we can at least do a lot of damage to them, and that will be the primary goal of such. So we've begun moving over construction factories to Mars. Now the point of this is going to be to start construction of mines locally, because building them locally has some advantages, meaning we don't have to ship them over, and we can start to grow the industrial capacity of the world. Also, the first Cruiser Destroyer Squadron has arrived back on Earth after its harrowing journey to Herschel. Commander who is in command at the moment, that would be Commander Lou Montaigne, has arrived back. Few ships down, and information regarding the alien forces that we are not capable of meeting or providing real resistance with current naval capabilities, and then we will need to build up our shipbuilding and capacities to be able to appropriately deal with the enemy. So we are beginning moving over even more fuel harvesters to Saturn, as fuel requirements are going to go up, and so are other resource requirements. We're going to need a lot of resources to build the ships I want to build. I want to build 30,000-ton cruisers. The main kind of ship doctrine I'm looking at doing is we need a proper battle line to accomplish it. And if we need a proper battle line to accomplish, we're going to need our cruisers, and our cruisers are going to be 30,000 tons in size. So I am going to be trying to scale up to that point. And in fact, I'm actually going to use our existing shipyard here to scale up as well. I've begun moving fuel refineries and mines to New Harmony because they have plenty of thorium, because I want to provide local fuel generation here because it's going to need for refueling operations. Yonsis is almost hitting 1 million people, Mars at 110 million. I'm also currently waiting in terms of our ground forces on new organizations. So we're going to have divisions, and in those divisions are going to be brigade combat groups. Those brigade combat groups are the smallest formation that will be capable of operation, serious operation, and we will have armored and infantry. The UEMC, or the United Earth Marine Corps, will be coming later, but they will be done in a different fashion once we have the ship building capability for it. I've begun as well, a little bit of an update. So I've begun ordering for frigate squadrons to begin patrols back and forth. So we have the 3rd Frigate Squadron currently patrolling this hyperway, which is the Sirius hyperway up towards our colonies, and they will be able to come in and out because we have a ton of shipping coming in and out of here, and tons of civilians also making use. I have ordered, well, I'm going to order our fuel harvesters, our mobile fuel harvesters, because of course we have the normal fuel harvesters and we have the stationary fuel harvesters. And I'm going to order the mobile fuel harvesters to transfer fuel to Earth, and then you're going to head to 61 Cygni, and you're going to sit yourself on B1, and you're going to harvest fuel from there, and then bring it back from further afield. Now, we would like to have some kind of defensive capability here, but I feel relatively safe that there's nothing nearby that they will be able to operate without much issue. I've also begun moving the survey forces into squadrons of 2 or divisions of 2 now, with the purpose of ensuring they can actually do their job better, because we're going further and further afield, and it will be less and less micromanagement for me to actually work with, and that's going to be useful. In terms of research, we finished up a few things. We're nearly done with most of our ground force research, at least for now, and then we're going to go probably into more ground force research. But for now, we can start building out the first formations. Discover system of Ro Libre. Now, this is a very interesting looking system. We have a nitrogen methane world, single star, 74 moons, 7 planets, located from Tea Garden Star, which is in this direction. So yeah, in this direction we kind of got it, and we also now into AT Aranius. AT Aranius has this world we could look at colonizing, but I think for now we're not going to. I'm currently making most of my efforts towards Kruger, as that's what seems to be more in style. Construction of shipyards is going relatively okay. I am looking to expand our production, but it's kind of taking a while here. Terraforming wise, we have now been able to get a decent amount of Etesium, and we are increasing the surface temperature decently. Not great though. Alright, so we've got our first armored division ready to go. We should also have infantry battalions ready to go. Yes, we do. Let me just check on this. So this is our organization situation. So we're going to train 2 armored divisions and then probably 6 infantry divisions. Now, this is going to be a lot of forces. So if we look at the current situation, so we have these 2 formations. So these are part of the infantry battalions, part of Army Corps. We are going to probably have 4, 6, I would say. So 1, 2. So this is infantry. Field artillery battalion should be good to go. Yes, it is good to go. And then we should also have the cavalry squadron. That's also good to go. infantry division has everything that it needs. Yep, we're good to go. And we've also got a supply formation in there. So we're going to put 4 infantry divisions in our army corps, and then 2 armored divisions. So these two, so my thinking essentially is we have our infantry brigades, combat brigades. Each of these brigades is 50,000 tons. These brigades are used for holding outpost worlds, and they are the smallest independent formation. In this case, we have an infantry brigade. The infantry brigade has 3 infantry battalions, each with a total of about 750, 900-ish men, 750 to 900 men. We have a cavalry squadron, which has IFVs and reconnaissance capability. This provides quick assault and also recon for forward fire direction for orbital weapon systems. And then we have a field artillery battalion, which provides us bombardment in entrenched situations, more importantly. The division has 3 of these brigades, and then we have a support brigade. The support brigade is capable of providing resupply for all of the above brigades, maintenance, so replacements for vehicles and other things, and then also entrenchments for all the other forces. So with those infantry divisions, so we have those now. So 4 divisions as part of the army corps. We're going to try a single army corps at least for now. So that is going to be, each of these is 200,000 tons. So that's a total of 800,000 tons. With the divisional headquarters, we're going to have we're going to have armored. These are armored. So with these armored, they have combined arms, which means they have tanks and IFVs, and these are going to be the main thrusting force on primary ground invasions, while the others are going to be primarily for holding worlds and other things like that. So we're going to go ahead and get this ready to go, which we should be able to do now and start to train up all as one organization. Okay, so we're going to construct that organization, and there we go. It's all assigned. This is the beautiful thing, though, about this new version. So we have 135 things queued up here, and they are all going to be built in relatively different times. I'm actually going to take off 20% here from our fuel harvesters, and I'm going to put that into ground force construction facilities. I'm going to build 5 more of those and get that at 20%. We have a lot of ground force to build, and they'll all go into their own thing here. But yeah, we are essentially training 1.2 million tons of ground forces with a cost of 47,000 build points, or 47,000 Verenderite. And then we're also going to obviously look at attaching... we're going to look at attaching larger capabilities, is what I'm trying to say. So like surface up weapons. We want to assign surface up weapons where we can. Found a system of HN Libre. Looks like a decent system, nothing too spectacular. So we are really starting to expand out here. Now, ground force wise, also we now have this going here, which is resource connection. Now, we are, again, building a lot of stuff. So we are going to be projected usage of Renderite, 46,000 tons. We are, of course, getting in quite a bit of Renderite from Mars, right here. But still, that's going to be a lot of resources we're going to be bringing in to construct the necessary ground forces that we're going to be looking at. Now, in terms of our divisions, so we're going to have obviously these army corps. I'm probably going to try and train, I don't know, 2 more. And then get replacements, obviously, going and supply and all sorts. And then we're going to have a marine force. Now, the marine force is going to be smaller, more flexible detachments that will be able to be deployed for offensive operations, boarding operations, and more limited elite engagements. Army forces are for garrison, reserve, and all the other stuff. Found an archipelago world here in 76 Apuchi, so 1 over. Temperature, good. Liquid atmosphere. Only a max population of 22 million people because it's 99.8% liquid. But definitely something habitable. Where is this located? 75 Apuchi. 76 Apuchi. There. So it's in this system. So this is kind of the Apuchi kind of arc. 70 and 76. So kind of the cluster here. Now, in terms of continued colonization efforts, Polaris now hitting 11 million people, which is good to see. Mars, 125 million. And we're actually running out of some workers because they're terraforming. We also have 100 construction factories now working on planet as we start to build more and more mines. So we are really starting to build stuff in local area, and that's seemingly working out pretty well for us. I've also now started research into plasma cannons, or which are going to be substitute weapon systems, which we're going to be developing because we need them. We're also getting missile targeting capability. The reason for that is AMMs. That's going to be another priority. I'm going to continue incrementing along here. Power engine mod 2.5x is completed, which is massive, by the way. So we're going to go ahead and also continue researching some other stuff, but that is going to allow next generation missile capabilities. Now, we aren't researching the next engine tech yet, so we're going to go ahead and make the Mark III anti-ship missiles. So 500% engine power, that gives us now a 5,000 kilometers per second boost, which is pretty nice. So we're going to call this the Mark III FFLC grade ASM. And there we go. We're going to make the Mark 3D ASM as well. Great. I'm going to get those researched immediately. Yeah, we nearly have the slipway ready for the laser defense platforms. Now, what do we need for research efforts? We need a nuclear pulse drive, and then we also need the gaseous fission reactor. Okay, we're nearly done with the research for the defense platform, and also we're continuing, obviously, our training now of the Army Corps. So we've got the EA First Army Corps, and then we should have all the other forces being trained up, if I do remember. How long is that going to take, though? Train the 1st Infantry Battalion. Didn't we have Division Headquarters done? Okay, I'm gonna re-sort this out in a second. So yeah, I just fixed it. They should hopefully be getting trained up correctly, but we'll see. Might be a bit bugged. I mean, I've never tried training 1.2 million tons of ground forces in a single thing, so we will see. Okay, with that research now done, we're going to begin construction on our first defense platforms. Now, I want probably an initial one of 16 of them, but we are going to take some while to actually get up to that point. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to build our first one and try and get as many as we can. We're going to try and build as many slipways on that as we can as well, and then we're going to look to also build our next cruiser generation here, because we're going to have a 30,000 ton shipyard done soon-ish enough. There we go. I'm starting to be built up now. So all of our ground forces, we're finally creating a proper army here, and that army is going to be very, very important going forward. So, I think... No, let's... Okay, so we need to look at ship design, current situation. We nearly have our shipyard done here, and we nearly have our ship design done here. There are a few things I want to get first, though. What I want to get is a railgun. Now, I said I wouldn't use railguns, but I think I'm going to have to, just based off the very clear fact that at this tech level, lasers are just not capable of doing what I need them to do. And so we're going to put research into a basic railgun. And that basic railgun is going to be very, very important. And then we're also going to do some other things. Now, today's episode, I've recorded a lot, but a lot of what you guys won't see. It's just been me managing things. A lot of this has just been logistics, research, ground force creation, stuff like that. This is kind of the lull from last episode, but it gives us an idea of where we're going to be moving forward to. Mars is growing massively, other colonies are starting to establish themselves, patrols are beginning, and we're going to be looking at building up an army that can actually hold planets and garrison systems, as well as actually move towards a navy that will be capable of doing its job. I would have them to guess that in my approximation, that the current forces we have, the frigates, the destroyers, the cruisers, these are more coastal defense forces. They are going to be very quickly obsolete, and we have clearly seen that we need more capability than what we have to be able to ensure victory. Enemy forces appear to be much more capable, and as such we need to scale up tonnage capability over the enemy and use our vast inherited resource wealth to make that a possibility. Once we colonize places like Kruger, places like 61 Cygni, places like Tigarden Star or Arcrania or Australis or Altair, we can then use these systems and use their resources to properly ensure our dominance in the galaxy. Because, like I said last episode, I think our primary benefit in so far, our primary acquisition, our thing, is that we have been able to get access to a vast wealth of systems and resources that are, relatively speaking, not defended or controlled by any alien forces that we know of. And so that is going to be the primary goal. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Again, some episodes are going to be a little bit slower running than other episodes, but that is the thing of Aurora. It's about logistics and all that other great stuff. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And again, we are continuing to expand our star empire, and we will have our patrols, defense platforms, logistics, and ground forces ready to go. I'll see you guys next time.